Hello friends, this is DK Gautam and thank you for joining Interview Point. So in this video, I will discuss about top 20 SQL Server interview questions. Okay, so now let's get started. Before going to start this video, if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, then please subscribe my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Okay, so here you will get all the latest interview questions. So my first question is, which language is supported by SQL Server? So the answer is SQL Server is based upon the implementation of the SQL, also known as structured query language, to work with the data inside the database. Okay, so the next question is, what is constant? What are the different types of constant in SQL Server? Okay, so the answer is constants. So constants are using to restricting the insertion of unwanted data in the database table. We can create constant on single or multiple columns of any table. It maintains the data integrity of the table. By using constant, we can restrict data only but not operations on table. There are 6 types of constant in SQL Server. So first one is primary constant. Primary key is a combination of unique and not null constant. We can avoid duplicate and null values at a time from a table. Okay, the next one is foreign key constant. A foreign key means that value is one table must also appear in another table. Okay, so the foreign key value must appear into the another table. The reference table is called the parent table, while the table with the foreign key is called the child table. So foreign key constant. A foreign key means that values in the table must also appear in another table. So foreign key value must appear into the another table. The reference table is called the parent table, while the table with the foreign key is called the child table. So you can see here, I am having a city table and also I am having a another table that is called state. Okay, so this state ID also have the value in this state ID. So this state ID is coming from this table. Okay, so that's why it is saying that the reference table is called the parent table. Okay, so a foreign key means that value is one table must also appear in another table. So this value is appear in this table. Okay, so come to the next. So the third point is unique key constant. It avoids duplicate value from a particular column in the table, but this constant will accept null value in a column. Next point is not null constant. It avoids null value but accept duplicate value into the table. So not null constant will allow duplicate value, but it doesn't allow null values in it. Okay, so the next point is check constant. It is also the most important constant. So it will use to check the values before inserting into a column in a table. By using this constant, we can verify the value with user-defined conditions on a column. So the next one is default constant. It will use to assign the user-defined values on a particular column in the table. Okay guys, so I am going to show you a unique key constant in my table. So unique key. So this is my employee table. So I am having the data in this table. So lots of data. In the email ID column is, so I am having an employee table. Okay, so this is the data available in my table. So email column is the unique constant. You can see here, click on the key, you can see PK, FK, FK, UK. So this is the unique key is the email. So I cannot insert duplicate data in it. So suppose this is the record zone is already available in this table. So this email ID is already available, so I want to insert it again. So let's see what happened. So it will not allowing to insert duplicate value. Okay, so if I will change this zone 1, then it will allow to insert. Okay, now you can see one row affected. Okay, so guys, friends, if you haven't watched the top 10 SQL Server query interview question query video, then please watch that video. I am providing the link in the I button. Okay guys, so now move to the next question. So the next question is, what is the difference between clustered and a non-clustered index? So it is also the very important questions. So now let's see. A clustered index is an index that rearranges the table in the order of index itself. Okay, so you can see in my employee table, you can see here this is the index. Okay, ID. So ID is the index. Its leaf nodes contains data pages. A table can have only one clustered index. Okay, so a data table can have, or we can say a table can have only one clustered index. Okay, next point is, a non-clustered index is an index that does not rearranges the table in the order of index itself. Its leaf nodes contains index rows instead of data pages. A table can have many non-clustered indexes. Okay, so a table can have here multiple non-clustered indexes. Okay, so the next point is, what is the differences between a local and a global temporary table? It is also the very important questions. So now you can see, if defined inside a compound statement, a local temporary table exists only for the duration of the statement, but a global temporary table exists permanently in the database, but its row disappear when the connection is closed. So I have created local temporary table. So this is the local temporary table by using the single hash. Okay, so for global temporary table we are using double hash. Okay, so if I want to execute this query, we will get the data, and for the global temporary table we will also get the data here. But the difference is, I am going to create another session here. So I want to execute the local temporary table. I want to get the data. So I am not able to get the data, but the global temporary table I am able to get data. Okay, so one more, the most important difference is here. Suppose here I'm just closing this. Okay, I don't want to save. Okay, now I am going to here. So this is, we are not able to execute, but we will not get data here also because the session is closed. So the both temporary table and local temporary table and global temporary is dropped from database. Okay, so these are the most important difference in local and global temporary table. So the next question is, what is the differences between a primary key and a unique key? The primary key is a column whose value uniquely identify every row in a table. Primary key values can never be reused. They create a clustered index on the column and cannot be null. So a unique key is a column whose value also uniquely identify every row in a table, but they create a non-clustered index by default, and it allows only null value, only one null value. So the next point is, each table can have only one primary key, but unique key we can have multiple, or we can say more than on the unique constant. So but we can have more than unique key constant in a table. Okay, so the next question is, what is sub-languages of SQL? Okay, SQL is nothing but structured query language. So there are mainly 4 types of languages, statements or commands in SQL Server. So the first one is DML. So DML, we can say the DML full form is data manipulation language. So DML is abbreviation of data manipulation language. It is used to retrieve, store, modify, delete, insert and update data in database. So example we can see here: select, insert, update or delete. So these four statements we can work with by using DML. So it is come under the DML command. So the next is DDL, data definition language. So DLL is abbreviation of data definition language. It is used to create and modify the structure of database object in database. So in this command we are having create, alter, drop and truncate, rename statements. Okay. So the next one is DCL. Okay. So DCL is abbreviation of data control language. It is used to create roles, permissions and referential integrity as well. It is used to control access to database by securing it. Okay, so the example is grant and revoke statements. Okay guys, so the next one is TCL. TCL is abbreviation of transactional control language. It is used to manage different transactions occurring within a database. Example is commit, rollback, save point statement. So these are the example of TCL. Okay. So friends, one of the most important, one more question that I forget to mention in this PPT. So that is the normalization and denormalization. So it is also the very important question, what is normalization in SQL Server and the types of normalization. So actually the normalization types are 4 types: first normal form, second normal form, third normal form and fourth normal form. And also one more concept is that is denormalization. So please prepare that question also. So I will make video on it in future and I will provide you the link in the description. So the next question is, what is the difference between a having clause and a where clause? So the first difference is both specifies a search condition, but having clause is used only with the select statement and typically used with group by clause. Okay, so group by clause we are using with group by clause. Okay, so the next one is, if group by clause is not used, then having behave like where clause only. If we will not use group by, then it will work like a where condition. Okay, so the next one is, without group by we can implement where clause, but having clause not possible without using group by. Okay, so the next and last one is, where clause will execute on individual records in the table, but having clause will execute on group of records along with the group by clause. So the next question is, what is the stored procedure? What are the advantages of using stored procedures? Okay, so stored procedure is a set of SQL queries which can take input and send back output, and when the procedure is modified, all clients automatically get the new version. Stored procedures reduce network traffic and improve performance. Stored procedures can be used to help ensure the integrity of the database. Okay, so by using stored procedure we can also do the CRUD operation. Okay, so the advantages of using stored procedures. So the first advantage is stored procedure boosts application performance. So we can say it can increase the application performance. So the next one is, stored procedure execution plans can be reused as they cached in SQL Server's memory, which reduces server overhead. So it will reduce the server overhead. So that's why it will increase the performance of the application. So the third point is stored procedures can be reused. Okay. So the next one is stored procedures can encapsulate logic. You can change the stored procedure code without affecting clients. So you don't need to affect the client, but you can update the stored procedure. So it is very helpful. Stored procedures provide better security for your data. So the next question is, what are the functions in SQL Server? So functions are the sequence of statements which accepts input, process the input to perform some specific task, and then provide the outputs. Functions should have some meaningful name, but these should not start with a special character such as modulus, has, at the rate, okay, like that. So the next question is, what is a user defined functions in the SQL Server and what is its advantages? So it looks like a stored procedure, but it is different from the stored procedure. Okay. So user defined function is a function which can be written as per the needs of the user by implementing your own logic. The biggest advantages of this function is that the user is not limited to predefined functions and can simplify the complex code of predefined functions by writing a simple code as per the needs. So this returns scalar value or a table. So the function can return scalar value or a table. It can also return a table. So the next question is, what are the differences between truncate and delete command? So if you are fresher, this question must be asked by you. Okay, so it is very important question. So truncate and delete command. So let's see. So truncate comes under the DDL command, so it is a DDL command, and delete command comes under the DML command, so it is DML command. The next point is, it does not support where clause or condition, we can say, but delete, it supports where clause. So truncate, it removes all the data all the time. Okay, so it removes all the data at a time. So the delete command is removes data based on condition specified in the where clause. Removes all the data if there is no where clause. If we will not use where condition, then it will delete all the data from the table. But in truncate command, we cannot use where condition. So it removes all the data from the table. So truncate, faster than delete as it locks an entire table. So it is faster than delete command because it locks entire table. So the delete is slower than truncate as it takes row level locks. Okay, so that's why it is little bit slower than truncate. So the next one is table identity column is reset to seed value. Okay, by using truncate command, so identity column value will be reset. Okay, in the delete command, table identity column is not reset. Here the table identity column will not be reset. Okay, so the next question is, what are the differences between primary key and foreign key constant? So guys, it is also the very most important questions to you. So guys, before talking about this question, if you haven't watched my video on top 25 C# interview questions, then please pause that video. Link is available in the I button, so you can click on that. So now let's discuss. So primary key and foreign key, the differences. So primary key uniquely identify a record in the table. Foreign key is a field in the table that is primary key in another table. So foreign key is available in actually that value is available in another table. Primary key can't accept null value. So primary key cannot accept null value, but foreign key can accept multiple null values. Okay, we can have only one primary key in a table, but foreign key we can have multiple foreign key, as I am using multiple foreign key in my table. Okay, so you can see the employee table I am using keys. You can see keys I am using 2 foreign key, but primary key can have only 1 primary key in a table. So the next one is, by default primary key is a clustered index and data is the database table is physically organized in the sequence of clustered index. So the foreign key do not automatically create an index, clustered or non-clustered. You can manually create an index on foreign key. So the next question is differences between stored procedure and function. Okay, stored procedure. It may or may not return a value. It must return a value of this video. So the next point is, we call a stored procedure, we call a procedure using execute or execute command, exec. This is the shortcut, or we can use the full execute command. Okay, the function, we call a function by using select command only. Okay, so it can have both input and output parameters. So the procedure can have both input and output parameters, but function can have only input parameters. Okay, so the procedure can not be called from function. We cannot call procedure through function, but function can be called from procedure. So we can call function through procedure. The next point is, procedure allows select as well as DML insert of the delete commands. Okay, but function allows only select statement in it. Okay, so this is the biggest most important difference. So we can create a procedure with and without a parameters, but we can create a function with parameters only. Okay, so these are the differences in stored procedure and function. So the next question is, explain types of join in SQL Server. Okay, so in SQL Server there are we can say 3 types of join: inner join, outer join, and cross join. So outer join is categorized in 3 types: left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. So the explanation of these joins is very simple. So let's see. Inner join, you can see this is screenshot. Inner join, left outer join, we can say right outer join, and full outer join. So left join, so we can have a 2 table 1 and table 2. So we will get the matching data only in it. Okay, so left outer join is this one. So we can have 2 table 1 and table 2. So we will get the complete data of left side table, but matching data from this second table also. Okay, the right outer join is, we will get complete data from second table, but matching data from first table. In the full outer join, it will get complete data from first table and the second table. Okay, so matching data it will also get. So the cross join. Inner join, the inner join that displays only the rows that have a matched in join tables is known as inner join. Outer join, outer join returns all the rows of both tables whether it has matched or not. Left outer join, these types of join will return all rows from the left hand side table plus records in the right hand side table with matching values. So the right outer join, these types of join returns all rows from the right hand side table and only those with matching values in the left hand side table. So the full outer join is these types of join returns all rows from both tables with null values where the join condition is not true. Okay, so the next one is cross join. A cross join that produce Cartesian products of the tables that are involved in the join. The size of a Cartesian product is the number of the rows in the first table multiplied by the number of rows in the second table. So suppose I have the 15 rows in first table and 10 rows in a second table. So 15 into 10, we will get the output like that. Next question is, what is trigger? So friends, if you haven't watched my video on top 25 ASP.NET interview questions, then please watch that video also. I am providing the link in the I button and also in the description. So now let's discuss about trigger. A trigger is a special kind of stored procedure or stored program that is automatically fired or executed when some events insert, update and delete occurs. Okay, so when we want to perform some action while after insert, after delete or after update, at that time we can use trigger. Okay, so I am just going to show you the trigger syntax. So we can create the trigger like that. Create trigger. Here it will be the trigger name. On table name, here employee, I am using my table, and after insert, update, after insert, delete, yeah, फिर update, like that we can use. Okay, as begin, and here the insert command if you want to insert, and this is the simple syntax you can create your trigger. Okay, so it is also categorized. So first one is DDL trigger. So in SQL Server we can create triggers on DDL statement like create, alter and drop, and certain system defined store procedures that touch DDL like operations. Okay, so next one is DML triggers. So in SQL Server we can create triggers on DML statements like insert, update and delete, and store procedures that do DML like operations. DML triggers are of two types. Okay, so the next question is, what is view in SQL Server? So view is also the very important question. So now let's see. A view in essence is a virtual table that does not physically exist in SQL Server. Rather, it is created by a query joining one or more tables. So actually it is not virtually exists in the table. Is next point is, in SQL, a view is a virtual table based on the result set of an SQL statement. So we can see the syntax of the view is little bit similar to the trigger. So create view, here view name, as select column we can provide the select condition here from table name, and here we can provide the where condition also. This is the next question, that is differences between synonyms and view. So synonyms and view is a little bit same, so we need to check the differences in it. So now let's see. Synonym, it is an alias of a base table, but view, it is a virtual table of a base table. So in the synonyms, it contains the physical existence and will occupy the memory. But view, it does not contains physical existence and will not occupy the memory. So the synonyms, it can create on a single base table only. But view, it can be created on a multiple base table at a time. The synonyms, we cannot restrict the specific columns and rows, but in view we can restrict the specific columns and row. The next point is, synonyms are not providing hiding facilities on the squared rows and column, but views, it will provide hiding facilities on specific rows and column. So these are the most important difference between. Next question is, what is index in SQL Server? Okay, so an index is a performance tuning method of allowing faster retrieval of records. Okay, so the next point is, it is a database object which is used to speed up the querying process by providing quickly access to rows in the data table. By using indexes, we can save time and can improve the performance of the database queries and applications. An index contains key built from one or more columns in the table and map to the storage location of the specified data. When we create an indexes on any column database, server internally maintain a separate table called index table. So the next question is differences between union and union all. So union, to select related information from two tables, union command is used. It is similar to join command. So it is the same syntax of union, select extract from. So suppose I want to select Wipro employees and union select extract from TCS employees. So like that we can use union and the union all. So the union all command is equal to union command, except that union all select all values. It will not remove duplicate rows. Instead, it will retrieve all rows from all tables. Okay, so the syntax is very similar. So select extract from Wipro employees, union all, what we are using here, union all, select extract from TCS employees. So this is the difference, union all, and here we are using only union. So this is the difference. The syntax is same. Okay. So the next question is, what is the difference between varchar and nvarchar types? So it is very simple. Varchar and nvarchar are the same, but the only difference is that nvarchar can be used to store Unicode characters for multiple languages, and it also takes more space when compared with varchar. So okay, so these are the most important interview questions. So guys, if you haven't watched my top 10 SQL Server interview queries, then please watch that video also. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.